I'm all for people protecting their interests and their rights. And we certainly spend a lot of time talking with clients about how to do that and how to do that in an intelligent way. But you never want to you never want to kill the patient in the process.
Right.
And you're always trying to do no harm. And this is just a situation where it's very hard to say that Fender has not just blown up their brand. Now, the knowledgeable public of folks that are tuned into this, and this isn't the entire universe of folks, but people that are really following this, like somebody like me, who plays guitar a lot, who follows these things, who pays attention to what's happening in the music industry, who's interested in guitar products. And I am appalled. Like, I would not go out and buy a Fender right now. I would very much think twice. And I know that I'm not alone from reading the way that people react to this. And I don't think I've ever seen a brand do as much damage as quickly as they have to themselves over picking a fight that they really didn't need to pick.
Wow. Wow. Well, I've had demand letters of mine end up on the internet. So I am always really, when I'm drafting a letter, I kind of like, you got to assume that this could end up on the internet. So you got to know your tone and know who your audience is. But just one last thing. So the very fact that the targeted market, right, is the very knowledgeable, very sophisticated group of guitar players and aficionados, as you say, right? The very fact that that's the market, even if Fender did have trade dress protection, right, they would still have to prove a likelihood of confusion. And and one of the factors that goes into making that kind of a balanced consideration of whether or not there's consumer confusion is, are the relevant consumers sophisticated and knowledgeable? And I think, just based on what you're telling me, right, the answer is it's a very sophisticated and very knowledgeable customer base. Small distinctions are going to make a difference to them. They're going to understand that it isn't a Fender based on relatively minor differences. So even if they were to get protection, wouldn't really carry the day, I think, based on what you're telling me, with some of these other competitors who are doing their own original designs, right? But still maybe take advantage of that double cutaway. Folks like you are going to pick up on those minor, though they may be, distinctions and say, I know this is a PRS. I don't think this is a Fender. Now, the full-on copycats are different if they were able to get that protection. But that's interesting to me because, you have to understand who your core audience is, right?
Well, the last part that's interesting on this, I mean, if you went traditionally and went back to like the 60s and the 70s, the two main manufacturers of guitars that people were playing the most were either Fender or Gibson. Gibson really has sort of dropped off and lost a lot of their market, and a lot of other manufacturers have arisen. Fender's really kind of maintained primacy, but they've really sort of given it away here, which is unbelievable.
Wow. Well, this is really fascinating. I love learning a little bit more about the guitar world, but stay on top of those YouTube and Reddit channels so that we know if and when the Thomann case comes out of the EU. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
I'm sure we'll have more to talk about here at some point soon.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Great. Thanks.
Bye.